Hi everybody, and welcome back to StorytellerSpira's channel. We are playing Vampire the Masquerade, our ongoing campaign New Orleans by Night this evening. We are on episode 6, which is going to be kind of like the second part from last episode. Last episode we had our kindred running around New Orleans, discovering humans were up to some strange shenanigans. It was called Lundi Gras. It's kind of a celebration before Mardi Gras Tuesday. But yeah, let's get started with, how's everybody?
Fantabulous.
I'm full of nuggets.
I'm jealous I'm not full of nuggets. That's how I am.
Wait, there was an option to be full of nuggets today?
There was an option. I'm surprised you didn't take it.
No.
Technically,
Barbecue for me.
Grubhub delivers. So you could be full of nuggets still.
You do have internet access and a credit card.
Guys, I'm too full of other meats to fill myself with nuggets, alright?
Yeah, but
too
like,
Challenge accepted.
but
You
like,
can fit a little more meat in there.
But like, as a counterpoint, cheap McDonald's sauce. Limited edition cheap McDonald's sauce.
Yes.
Does a burrito count as just one big nugget?
Like if you zoom out enough, yes.
Okay, then I'm full of nugget.
I mean, everybody likes some cheap fast food every now and then.
If you zoom out enough, we're all just nuggets.
But unfortunately, we're not all full of you, Zabani.
I don't have cable, or I don't watch cable anyway. It's only hooked up upstairs. So the only commercials I see anymore are occasionally on YouTube. And for whatever reason, I don't see a lot of the fast food ones you normally see on like TV. But today I was watching a video and it started with an ad for Taco Bell. I was like, well, now I kind of want Taco Bell. But it was announcing this new thing that was nacho fries. It's just fries with their nacho cheese on the side. And I still wanted it.
Their nacho cheese sauce is basically cocaine. Like
it's liquid salt with a bit of cheese flavor.
No, it's cocaine. I have a problem
it's
when it
comes
to
to
Taco Bell's nacho cheese sauce. And it has to be from the actual store. Like it's not the same when you buy it at like Walmart. It's lacking that like desperation of an employee stuck in a dead end job.
There's not enough alcohol in my system.
That does give it that tang.
Yeah, it does. And you need it. It's just flat without that.
Yeah.
I saw a dang commercial for fish burgers for Arby's, and I thought it was the weirdest thing, and then I remembered it was Lent and people get desperate.
Right.
Okay, because Fred Meyer's starting to sell fish burgers again.
Yep, that's why. It's Fish Friday season.
Goddamn.
Like, 100%
so sad.
had an Arby's roast beef sandwich the other day, and it was amazing.
I didn't even know people still got that anymore.
It's one of the 3 things on post here in Colorado.
I see our chat is getting involved here, describing their preferences. How is everybody in the chat doing tonight? How are all of my lovely viewers? Let us know how you're doing. Thanks for joining us. I know I was a little later than usual. It was that or not play, and we decided we wanted to play too much, so.
Yeah.
Alright, well, let me give everybody a little summary from last episode. Alright, so last episode started the Monday night before Mardi Gras Tuesday, also known as Lundi Gras. Our players discovered an inordinate amount of humans were taking a mystery drug that left them in a state of delirium, leading to quite a number of serious accidents. Several of our players noticed a specific set of beads on these individuals, a set of white and red ones that also, at least as far as they found, seemed to be missing some large area, maybe like a pendant. And after a bit of investigating, they all tracked down a man and a woman dressed in a very masquerade-style outfit, passing out the beads. Rebecca was able to determine that the main contents of the pill hidden inside the pendant on the beads, the part that was missing on the other ones they found, was made from datura, which is a plant part of the nightshade family that can be used as a type of hallucinogenic, but it also leads to a high temperature, confusion, increased heart rate, and dehydration. So it can be quite dangerous to take. In general, recreationally, people don't use it much. They either use it out of desperation or, want to try it. From my readings, promise I've never even taken it, but from my readings, a lot of people don't tend to like it after their first experience. Shut up. All those Google searches were just for reference, for understanding what I was writing.
Not like on a list now or anything, so.
I mean, she's probably on the list with, authors who any author ends up Googling some crazy-ass shit.
Yeah, out of 100 people on any list, there's one actual person to be worried about, and the rest are creative writers.
Or gamers. Or yeah, how many gallons does it of blood weighs 10 pounds? What?
Exactly.
We always make a joke in my real-life role-playing group that it's... we always wonder if the NSA is always playing a game. Role players or terrorists?
I've seen the same joke on a lot of writing sites. It's creative writer or actual terrorists. But with that, let's go around and just see how our players are feeling. So we're gonna go in a set of 3 because last session, Luther, Dinah, and Rebecca had gone off in one direction. Theo, Bjorn, and Abraham had gone off in the others. So let's start with Luther, played by Super Chocolate Bear, one of our Toreadors. How are you feeling about this strange little investigation?
I don't know where we go from here. All right, there are some crashes. Yes, that's bad. This guy's handing out drugs. Nothing that really involves us. And we have some. So I don't know what the group is going to do from this point. We already contacted the prince. We did our duties. The only thing I can think of is to take them. I think that's where my mind is. Are we going to take them, and where is that going to lead us?
All right. Then Dinah, our other Toreador, who went off with essentially the younger group of our mostly older vampires and one mage.
Man, Dinah also does not entirely know what to do from here. There's some crashes going on. There's, they found the drugs. She's kind of hoping that Rebecca can semi-help here. Otherwise, she really doesn't quite know what to do to follow up on this.
This is the episode Lily shows up in to give you all a hint.
Right, she's...
Now I'm tempted to do that at some point. But anyway, Rebecca, what are you thinking? You were the one who essentially found the most information so far. The others did find the pills and the little riddle inside, but you were the one that actually determined the qualities of the pill inside.
This seems kind of like a PR nightmare. She wants to get this shit gone, but she also really, really wants to take it. So,
the curious little
dilemma.
Cult of Ecstasy mage. What does it do exactly? So on the, not other side of town, but basically about 2 or 3 blocks away, we have Abraham, Theo, and Bjorn. Abraham, you were watching a little further away. You were trying to be kind of this scout who wasn't directly involved, but was gathering information. How do you feel?
More if their plan failed, I wanted a second option, but then they succeeded. And handed me the beads, and the last thing, I don't know how I feel yet, because the last thing that I did last session was get 3 successes on looking into the past of these beads.
All right. Let's say Bjorn. I believe you were the one that approached the woman most directly. So how are you feeling?
Well, I believe we learned last session that she was a ghoul, which adds a whole nother layer of interestingness to this, as I think we were all kind of assuming that it was the technocracy or somebody interfering with things going on, but now it seems the kindred themselves are getting up to all sorts of shenanigans. So, of course, this is getting more complicated, and still have found yet any sort of resolution with the Garou and figuring out what exactly they... because the Garou are upset about, city expansion, and it's just completely unreasonable what they're expecting, which is usual for Lupine. So we... a lot of problems and very few answers.
Mm-hmm. And last but not least, Theo, how are you feeling? You were pretty close by with Bjorn. I think you might have spoken with the woman a little bit, but you certainly got to see everything and hear all of her strangely whimsical bits about, this is special and for special people, and it will, broaden your horizons.
Did we ever ask her, just flat out, who do you belong to?
Nope.
Why didn't we do that?
I don't know.
It seems a little weird.
But you definitely did make her arm wither in 24 hours or something, so you could contact her later.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, yes, I tagged her.
That was actually literally going to be the next thing I said, and you did your whole tagging thing, and I'm like, okay, we'll see what Theo's doing here.
Yeah, we left it. Well, we could have still talked to her, but yeah, I left a calling card, so hopefully that will. We'll get an angry call. As one of few, of me in the city. It's kind of like I have a list of 1 people who we can contact about this.
Yes, I will say these two, the man and the woman, are ambling slowly. They're not going in any specific direction with much speed. So if before, you decide to regroup somewhere else, if you do decide you still wanted to speak to them, it wouldn't be too hard to, be like, oh, hey, I forgot something. Let's see.
Yeah, but otherwise, I'm just happy that it's nothing bad yet. Drugs on the street and car crashes, that's really not my level of being worried. Theo's whatever. I mean, sounds like fun. Some people die, some people live, some people get high. That's a Tuesday night, whatever.
All right. Well, to get us right back into the scene then, as I mentioned, Luther, Dinah, and Rebecca, you are a little further down St. Charles Avenue, whereas Theo, Bjorn, and Abraham, you traveled further up a couple of blocks. And you... I'd say Theo, Bjorn, Abraham, you just kind of got the necklaces off this woman, opened them up, saw the riddle. At the time point that Rebecca's already had time to look the riddle over, got her, used her magics to find out exactly what's inside it, and talked a little bit with Luther and Dinah, explain what it is. So if either group wants to contact the other, or whatever anybody wants to do, game starts.
Yeah, Luther would call... Fuck, who does Luther like the most? Bjorn. He would call Bjorn.
Sure.
Ring.
Hello?
Ring. Bjorn, this is Luther.
How can I help you?
So we have our necklace now. How are you boys doing over on that end?
We seem to have, we found a lead, but we're going to need a little bit of time to cash in on it.
Well, all right. Well, what do we do now? Should we follow him, or do we? Can't really apprehend the man, or we don't.
So you have eyes on this individual, correct?
Spirit, we're still near him, correct?
Yeah, they didn't go far. I mean, they're moving back through the crowd because they're trying to find more people to give beads to, but you can still see them.
Yeah, of course. They stick out like a sore thumb, so it's not exactly hard to find them. It's just I don't.
Do they by chance stick out because they're Similar to us?
What? No. They're not kindred, or I don't even think that they're mage. I think Dinah said that. Dinah, did you say ghoulish? What are these boys?
Baby girl, we can't hear you.
Yeah, sorry, I think they belong to somebody. I hit the wrong button, sorry.
They belong to one of us, but they ain't one of us. No.
Seems we are in the same predicament then. That's the same thing we got from the one we're tailing.
Theo, who's like leaning in to kind of listen to your phone call. Hey, ask him if they can ask. I'm not so great at questions.
I'm sorry, ask them if what?
Ask them to ask them about if they're who. Can you ask them to ask who? Yes, maybe who. No, don't be ridiculous. Ask them who they owns them.
Shh. So Luther, are you guys in a position where you guys could possibly apprehend this person and ask a few questions? Perhaps who their owner is. Maybe use the pretty one to quote Theo.
I mean, I guess this might be a question I don't really know. Would a ghoul just be like, yeah, my owner's fucking this dude? Like, are they pretty secretive about it, or?
Yeah, no, they will typically be secretive because it's a very depending situation. But I would say on average, if the ghoul doesn't know you, and doesn't feel comfortable, they probably won't just be like, yeah, this guy. If pushed either gently or firmly, they might, but not generally like just in a naked response.
Bjorn, you know I don't like confrontation, and that's exactly what you're asking me to get into. Me and Dinah both don't like that, and I don't know much about
Rebecca's with them, right?
Yes. I don't know the way Rebecca does things.
Have Rebecca turn him into a rabbit and then ask him. I've seen that in the movies.
So,
I'm not sure what Rebecca's exactly capable of, but maybe she has some form of persuasion that could be useful in this circumstance.
No, a rabbit!
We can figure it out. We're all fucking adults here. We can try and figure out some way of questioning a human. We can handle this. I'm sure.
Best of luck. If you guys need anything, let us know. We're playing it kind of cool for the moment. Like I said, we have a plan, but we'll cash in on it tomorrow.
All right. Slow playing. I understand it, but okay. I'll give you a call if anything comes up.
Sounds good.
Perfect. Thank you. Bye.
Hey,
So, I suppose we're just going to go talk to them then?
Yeah, I guess we just go and ask them some questions and see who, why, where, and when. All those questions, all those answers.
All right.
Now, Rebecca, I don't know how much you know of Dinah and I. I'm not much for physical altercations, and I know Dinah can handle herself here and there. You know, she's no spring chicken.
Did you mean to say slouch there? Because you better have meant to be slouch
That
there.
is exactly what I was stringing on to.
Uh-huh.
But maybe if anything too bad happens, Rebecca, you might be able to help us out.
All right. So, what did you have in mind exactly?
I don't know what you are capable of. If you can hurt somebody, I don't want that exactly to happen, but...
We're just going to go talk to that gentleman what gave you the beats.
Becca will get a text now in all caps that just says turn him to a rabbit.
You're sending it to Rebecca?
Yeah.
She's gonna respond back, KKBB.
Are there any alleyways next to our pusher that's walking around?
There's a bunch of alleyways because it's down a street. Some of them are more open because they're next to actual homes. Not exactly the same as like northeast townhouse style alleyways, but there's slightly darker, quieter areas you could potentially go, though it's still a big party, so you never know who might come by at any time.
Right.
I would say, and you would know this, probably more behind one of these houses would be better. It's technically on property, but, it would be further away from any drunken partygoer that might stumble by.
Well, how about we just...
I might be able to handle this.
I'm by yourself, or would you like us to
I would prefer not to go alone entirely, but I do have a way with people.
Okay, well, as
Can I watch?
How...
I would hope so, considering I want you there.
How about we... all right, well, if you want to take the reins on this one, you lead, and we'll follow and assist you in any way that we can.
All right, do we just ask him who he belongs to for one, and where he got these for another? Anything else?
I get, why? Why is he doing this? Who does he belong to? And are they the ones who are pushing this? And we, the prince sent me out here. This is official orders of Prince Marcel for us to be out here interrogating him. Hopefully that shakes him around some.
Sure. Okay. Let's see. What do you roll for presence 3?
Hold on a second.
There's a spreadsheet in the Twitchy Vampires channel.
Yeah, but I already have it open. So that is appearance and empathy, and it's going to be against the person's current willpower, which let me check real quick. Yeah, you get off easy. It's 5.
So what do I... So the difficulty is 5, and what do I roll?
It is appearance and empathy.
Appearance, empathy. Okay, hold on a second. Oh, appearance? Shit. Damn it. Alright,
Ugly?
No, she's 2. But, hold on, let me... I don't know, she's 3, because I didn't know what else to put stuff in.
What do you keep making that hand signal for, Zabani?
She's not that great.
Okay, sorry. Just to be clear, you are being rude.
I am absolutely...
Extremely rude.
Have you known me to ever be any other way?
That is such a good point. I haven't thought about it like that.
I mean...
Oh my god, are you kidding me? I roll 7 dice on a DC of 5. I get 2 successes and 2 fucking 1s. Are you shitting me?
The dice have spoken!
Man, I have not rolled well on anything in like the last 5 games I've been in over the past month. Not a single time.
It seems that Dinah might be the new Roland.
Fuck, man. This is every game. This is not just this fucking game.
Okay, so you have taken part of...
Can I, do something to try again? I don't care. It's 3 willpower.
I will,
Please, this is my only plan. I didn't have another one.
Okay, I will just need you to, after this second roll, still act out the part where it doesn't go so well. Or actually, let's do that, and then I'll allow you to roll again at difficulty 7.
Okay.
So, give me your actual attempt at, grabbing this gentleman's attention and speaking with him.
Okay. Sure. All right. So Dinah kind of like walks up to him, and it's like, "Oh, hello there."
The man in the masquerade outfit turns slightly, sees you, and that you were, he thinks he probably gave you a necklace already, and says, "Oh, I'm sorry, my dear, but it's really only one per customer." And he turns his back to you again, moving forward down the street, trying to find more people to hand out these beads to.
"Oh, no, honey, I wanted to talk to you about something else."
Oh? And he begins to turn on his heel halfway, just kind of giving you a partial look. So you can go ahead and roll again at difficulty 7.
You are merciful. If I had botched, I would have made that really awkward, but I just...
No, a fail that wasn't even a social fail. It was a fail at trying to do something supernatural.
Dominate somebody,
so,
basically, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that was just, he was like...
presence, but yeah.
He was just like, "Hi, bye."
Alright, I'm spending a willpower this time.
Okay.
Good fucking thing I did. Jesus. Alright. I cannot... Jesus Christ, are you fucking kidding me?
So that willpower was a waste.
Yes! No, it saved me from botching.
Yeah.
No, because you already got a success. You
Oh, fuck. Yeah, no, you're right.
So wait, does that count as a success? I got confused on the way we went back.
I don't know.
There.
No, she adds one success to her -1.
Yeah, okay, that's okay.
Fuck! God damn it!
So the man looks at you, waiting for whatever you wanted to speak to him about.
Am I allowed to steal a line from Luther and say it's not in the cards?
Right here, man. Right here. Okay. Yes. No, I couldn't. I've been noticing you handing these out, and I got a little bit of a good look at you. I don't know if you know what I mean in particular, but I think I might have some business with you.
The man tilts his head, and with his plague doctor style mask makes him look very much like a curious bird listening to you, and just waits for the rest of your point.
I'm sorry, my mind is fucking blanking. I thought I had this,
Fine.
and that was the end of that.
We can meanwhile if you need it.
No, it's fine. I got it. So, yes, I couldn't help but notice that you have a certain aura about you, and I am, well, let me just cut to the chase, wondering who you effectively belong to.
At this point, the man gives a full turn, now facing you, complete attention to your point. He does seem to think about it for a moment, though, and says, belong to, I think I may understand what you mean. And he steps quite close to you, which bodies are moving all around. It is an outside party during Mardi Gras, so not too intimidating or too intimate, but just he seems to want to get as close as he can to speak with you. And what exactly would you want that information for?
Well, it just seems a matter of public interest, if you will. You're handing things out to people, and they seem a bit, not necessarily causing harm, but it's enough to get the interest of some of us who live here in this city.
The man laughs and outstretches his arms, practically even hitting a couple people that were walking by. The beads on one arm jingle, and the other hand that was holding flowers kind of shakes wildly, some petals falling from it. He says, "It's Mardi Gras. I'm not making them take anything. I'm simply offering."
Of course not, honey. Of course. I never said you were. I'm just saying it's a bit of an unusual sort of substance for this time of year, wouldn't you say?
He gives a large shrug and repeats, I'm not making them take it, it's simply an offering.
Certainly. Is this just a personal project, or is this something that you will put up to?
Oh no, and he brings his arms back in a bit and says, this is for a much greater good.
Oh, see, now I like greater goods. I like that. So if you could explain that to me, I would be much obliged.
Well, and he looks kind of embarrassed, like his shoulders pull in a little bit, and so he says, I'm merely a member of the, I wouldn't think to try and preach the message myself. It'd be best if you heard it from the father himself.
Would it now? All right, sure. How about you set us up a little meeting?
Oh, but you could go see him now. And he points with a hand holding the flowers. Kind of back the way you came, but you would have passed kind of where he seems to be pointing. And he gives you a street corner so that, yes, where you guys originally, the bar you came from, you would have gone up the street and taken a right. He's telling you it's a bit further down, like as if you had taken a left.
All right. Anything I should know him by or know about him before I show up on his doorstep?
Not at all. His message is for everyone.
Oh, he sounds like a very warm and personable person.
Absolutely. The father's message is what brought me to him.
Well, excellent. I am sure that I will like what he has to say then.
I hope you do. And he gives a very theatrical bow, again, kind of swinging the beads and the flowers around.
All right, well then, thank you kindly for your time. Don't get in too much trouble.
Not at all. And he starts walking back out into the crowd. Meanwhile, Theobjorn and Abraham, you're still a few blocks away. You have your necklaces, and just were informed that Luther, Dinah, and Rebecca's group are going to at least attempt to find out more information.
Hey, Abraham.
I'm still kind of need that, what is the past of this necklace with 3 successes?
Right. Oh, yes. Sorry. I was thinking about when you were just trying to figure out you got the images of these two.
Yeah. No. I looked into the past of the necklace without touching the pendant because I was told that was dangerous or something, maybe.
Mm-hmm. All right. Again, you get it in kind of flashbacks, like seeing someone else's vision and memory while these necklaces are being assembled. They are definitely cheap plastic beads. You see hands grabbing a bunch of them out of an opened cardboard box and dumping them on a table. You see several like cut up pieces of paper, which you can tell are where the riddle is eventually either printed on or written on, as well as another like couple plastic bins with small like plastic baggies containing the little purple pills. And you see this sort of assembly line of people trying to put these together. Seeing as the woman and the man that you noticed in your previous flashbacks were wearing masks, it's difficult to tell if they're the same people, but at least one woman you see sitting at the table working on these has the same long blonde hair as the woman you spoke to. Otherwise, you don't know who the other 4 to 5 people roaming around the room are, but you do see in the corner of your eye, from the vision's standpoint, a charismatic man, at least by his gait. He's got a very strong, confident walk. Pass by the room, kind of just in that person's corner of vision, and he's wearing a priest's outfit.
And what if I can see is the setting of all of this?
It looks like a cheap hotel room, probably like the living room area with a small dinette table and some really ratty old furniture.
And other than priestly robes, what does this guy look like?
Tall, slim, but not in any kind of too skinny, malnourished way. Clean shaven, hair looks sort of slicked back, very well put together. And again, the best thing you can kind of see from that peripheral vision is this very strong gait. A little silly though, like he has his hands tucked behind his back.
And hair color is kind of like
dark brown. Looks maybe a little darker because of how it's slicked back.
And this is a white guy?
Mm-hmm, yes.
Right. Well, I believe he has perhaps up to 5, maybe 6 ghouls. Which I say to Bjorn.
This is Theo literally raising his hand as you're talking.
What do you want, Theo? You can speak. We have done this for 200 years. Yes, Theo.
I know, but it annoys you, and that's fun. Can you just make him tell us? Because I'm bored. And I was really
where
hoping...
is he?
Over there! Bjorn, grab him! We're coming! He's a cripple! I'll get a wheelchair!
Him?
The man. No, we had the woman, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had the woman.
Her, I don't know. My tits fell off a long time ago. I can't keep track.
I can say for almost certain you have never had tits. Almost certain.
Bjorn is already walking towards the woman at this point at a quick pace, leaving the two to figure out whatever their tits have ever done.
Yeah, I'm just walking alongside him.
So, you approach the woman. She is facing away from you, so she has a very, somewhat dance-like pace. She's just letting her skirts move around her as she steps through the crowd.
Bjorn will get very close to her, rest a hand on her shoulder, trying to do it gently at this point to not startle her or anything, and talk softly, but not like whispering in her ear, but just under in a low voice. Listen, don't do anything rash, but we know what you are, we know what you're doing, and we need to have a few conversations. Let's do this let's have a quick conversation and do this the easy way.
The woman whips around to face you, and in a kind of dainty fashion, she pulls the flowers she was holding and the beads toward her chest and says, "What are you talking about?"
And with that, I will activate rank 1 of Protean and flash my eyes at her quickly, put them away.
She chuckles lightly. It's quite a party trick.
Yes, so let's cut to the chase and not make a scene in the middle of the street. But if you would be so kind as to walk with me over here, I have a few questions for you, and I think it would be best for all of our sakes if this went smoothly.
Well, of course. And she reaches out the handful of flowers for you to hold so that she can take your other arm in her crook.
I'll absolutely return the arm and slowly start walking her away from the crowd.
So she walks with you without any real hesitation.
And I'll head back towards Abraham and Theo, though I think Theo came with me.
No, I was walking with Abraham walking him to.
Yeah, we were walking decidedly slower, kind of in the vague direction you were.
Because someone's a cripple.
Hey, this is not my fault.
And yeah, I will escort her back to the other two and kind of nod to them to step aside to the, I don't know if there's a less populated area that we could have a more private conversation.
As I mentioned earlier, there are alleyways, and while there will still be people down there who also wanted slightly more quiet place to speak, most people want to be in the big crowds and out, on the street with the floats and the beads and everything. So you can, walk a little while and find a space between two buildings that looks like there's even like a kind of a corner behind a dumpster. You can, have a slightly quieter conversation.
So, I'm sorry, but let's start things politely. What exactly did you say your name was?
Oh, my name's Victoria.
Well, Victoria, it is a pleasure to meet you. My name is Bjorn, and these are my associates.
Pleasure to meet you.
She takes her arm from the crook of yours and reaches a very dainty hand out to shake Abraham's and Theo's. Pleasure to meet you.
Is she wearing gloves?
No.
So, okay. Because that's the case, when I shake her hand, I would like to try and mesmerize her because I don't need to make eye contact. Because I'm an elder and I'm shenanigans.
I mean, that's why I gave you guys this option.
Yeah, totally. I just, this is probably the only opportunity I'm going to have to make direct skin-to-skin contact with her, so.
Alright.
But I don't know what my dots are. Give me a second.
I think you have, you have quite a number in that.
I definitely do.
Yeah.
That was kind of the build, but.
Yeah. Manipulation leadership against willpower. As I said, it's only 5 for her.
So manipulation leadership is lots.
The rule is lots. Just got a bag of dice. Just put your hand in, grab what you can. That. It's at least that much.
Fortunately, I have large hands.
It was funny, I was at a comic book store the other day and I saw all the dice and I was like, but I don't need them.
Need? But could.
Yeah, I know. But I was like, I don't need them though.
So then 7 successes, because, I'm doing what Elvish cannot.
Yeah.
Fuck you, my good sir.
Hey, I rolled 2 ones.
Gentlemen.
I rolled 2
Fuck.
ones. One of them just happened to be on the tin again.
Jesus Christ.
So, with Mesmerize, what I'm going to say is,
Wait, 1 second. I just want to see. No. Wait. I'm on the wrong page. Alright, yeah. Anyway, you've got the success to do basically whatever you want. So.
Yeah. And basically I'm going to say to her, do me a favor and be as cooperative as you can. Thank you.
So much as happens with Dominate, you see her body fully relaxed. Not that she loses any stance, but the muscles in her arms and her shoulders just seem to droop slightly, and while she already had a kind of dazed little mesmerized look on her face anyway, it has much more of that lost sheen. Her focus is just forward without being on anything, and she nods.
That should be enough. I say, obviously I don't, I will say to Bjorn and Theo, that should do it for us.
So, who do you work for, lady?
What do you mean work for?
Who are you ghouled by?
Yes, who is your dormitor?
Father Iago.
What's in Iago?
I will say, you guys have at least heard of him. He's a bit of a strange staple when it comes to Mardi Gras. He does not stay in New Orleans outside that time period, but he typically shows up during the celebrations and always has quite an interesting little setup. You guys also would remember, or at least Bjorn, you were asked previously by Travers, the Malkavian who lives in the woods, to get information about where he was supposed to be set up this year, which you did find out from the prince.
Alright.
Do we know what clan Father Iago is?
Yes. He is decidedly Malkavian.
I'm gonna look at Bjorn and Abraham and just shrug and go, well, everything's fine. Thank you for your time. I'm just gonna start walking.
She's going to slowly start following Theo because he said that's all we needed.
Theo,
What?
are you forgetting something first of all before you decide to wander off into the night?
There are
No, I'm still wearing my pants. Yeah, I'm still got my pants. That's good.
Before that, there are other questions we could ask, like how do we get in contact with her again for similar purposes, or
Oh, Iago.
What?
I'm not worried.
or what if you know what does this pendant actually do?
Knowing Iago probably takes
that last bit. Like, I was saying that, and then I turned to her and said, what does this pendant actually do?
It's a gift from a strain of the nightshade plant.
That does not, strictly speaking, answer my
You
question.
did mesmerize a Malkavian ghoul.
That does not answer my question.
What is it you want to know?
What does it do?
It opens the mind and changes perception.
But why? What does Iago get by getting a bunch of random kind high?
What I just said.
I think you guys are barking up the wrong tree. Guide's like a grade A weirdo.
Hey, he is the one who asked the question. I just wondered what the pendant does.
Alright, well, would you do him a favor and say I said hi?
Of course. What was your name again?
I don't know. Tell him something.
You can say Theo.
All right.
She can say it? I hope so. Anyway, thanks for your time. We'll see you later.
Before you leave, one last thing. Can I please have your cell phone number?
I don't have one.
How about your
It's
your
2018.
friend? How about your friend in the black garb that is doing the same as you tonight?
She's in black garb, he's in white.
Okay. Like, obviously, this is not a thing that I would have trouble with looking at a woman in black garb. So yeah, how about your friend in the white garb? Does he have a phone number?
I don't believe so.
It's 2018. How on earth do you people communicate with each other?
We have our ways. Father Iago says that they are too binding.
I think we're done here.
I'm
Thanks.
pretty
Yeah,
sure
yeah,
Iago's
you
drunk
can.
texted me.
I'm pretty sure that was me, actually.
Good Iago voice then.
You can. I said, do we want her not giving more of these out? It's probably best.
I don't see what it hurts. Iago's never poisoned the city before. I mean, yeah, a few people overdosed. Some weird shit happens, but I mean, isn't that the whole point, right?
I suppose. Then you are free to go.
Okay.
So Theo's single-minded. If you guys want to ask her more and be more thorough, please do not rely on Theo.
We know that it's Father Iago. Like,
does the fact that it's Father Iago give us any reason to pause or be worried about the danger of this situation?
Hold
Abraham, real quick. Give me a wits roll against 6.
A wits roll against 6.
Mm-hmm.
While he's rolling, Bjorn's going to turn back to her, still holding the bouquet because she's never asked for them back. Hold on. Victoria, is there anything in the flowers?
She's going to look at you and realize you are talking about the ones you're holding. No, they're just pretty.
Well then, and he'll hand them back to her.
She takes them graciously.
You said versus 6th?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, that's a success.
Okay. You didn't tell her not to hand them out. You turned to your friends and said, should we? And then said, you're good to go.
I mean, like...
That was my reference, was who cares?
Okay.
Like, does Bjorn have an opinion on this?
Sorry, I was talking to Graham really quick. What was it?
Should we, I suppose, stop her from handing these out? Yeah, just kind.
I would... I'd side on the side of caution and just tell her to lose them and move on with her evening.
Lose is a... that is the same as passing them out. Perhaps
Victoria, hand me the beads.
Yes, let's just have them all.
Yeah, and pass us all the alcohol too. We don't want anyone getting drunk.
Don't. You're good with just handing us the beads, because she will actually do it. I don't feel like causing this problem.
I know, I was kind of excited, but whatever.
You see her gyrate in a few slight different movements as you all ask her to do different things, but finally she reaches the arm out. She reaches the arm out that's draped in the beads and allows you to take them.
Thank you very much.
Of course.
And I suppose have fun.
And be sure to, when you see Iago again, to mention that Theo says hi.
Of course. And she starts walking out of the alley.
So it sounds like we need to pay Iago a visit.
Hello? Okay.
I suppose. And...
I mean, I've always wanted to go to a religious drug lab, so I guess.
I'm sure you'll find something to entertain yourself with for a few minutes.
Well, yeah, but Theo will be there, so...
Yes, you will, if you are there.
Yeah, there's entertainment.
That is how being somewhere works.
I'll have to write that down. Well, someone call the other guys and let them know Iago's behind it, everything's fine. Or are we all still paranoid? What if he's committing genocide through weed? You guys watch too many 90s PSAs.
19 or 1890s?
Both.
The 1890s were pretty chill about drugs, I'm just saying.
Actually, kind of reminds me of Reefer Madness. That time.
No, let us not talk about this. Let's go. And
will you call them? Yes. Will you call Luther back and let him know what we found out, and maybe we can meet up and do drugs or something?
And I will awkwardly put this giant handful of drug-filled beads in the coat pocket of my jacket.
And Bjorn pulls out his phone and gives Luther a ring.
Hello.
How has your evening gone? Not that it's been but a few minutes.
Spira, what point are we in our timeline?
You guys would have finished up speaking with the guy. This was supposed to be kind of parallel.
Okay, so, and were we close to that conversation?
You to them?
No. Was Rebecca and I close enough to Dinah to hear that information?
I believe so. I thought you guys meant you wanted to be nearby.
Yeah, I'm just assuming you guys heard all that. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Awesome.
Or even she'd come back and fill you in on the details.
I'm not trying to hide it in particular. So.
Yeah, I just didn't know if you've come back and told us or what. Anyways.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, tonight is it's going, that's for sure. We talked to our boy, and apparently there's some kind of I don't know, we called him father or papa or something along the lines. He's, I don't know. I guess we could go check him out.
His name is Father Iago, and yes.
Yeah.
So we talked to his ghoul, and I'd say the beads are mostly harmless at this point. I mean, not mostly harmless. There's car accidents and other things going on, which is incredibly... This all seems a bit outside his nature. He's all about having a great time, but...
So I know, like, the younger group has made the connection of there's a bunch of car accidents, but hasn't our group only seen the one car accident?
No.
Dinah was yelling at Theo about it.
Oh, okay.
You've also been hearing more and more sirens shooting across the area.
Also, when I came and met up with you guys after the prince, I think I informed you guys that they were happening.
Okay, because I know that I have only witnessed one car accident. I'm not tracking on any of that. And I wasn't sure if I was the only one or if it was the three of us.
Nope, I specifically remember Dinah making a deal about
it. Cool.
So.
Just wanted to make sure.
So, Father Iago, I'm not sure if you know who he is, but this is kind of somewhat his MO and common for him. He's basically practices a religion of debauchery. However, this is outside of his norm in the fact that it seems to be affecting the kind in ways that we wouldn't appreciate. The car accidents and other side effects that are outside of his norm. He's extending beyond his MO this year.
Okay, well, yeah, I don't know. I've been here long enough and have enough streetwise. Would I know this man, Spira?
Yeah, the second they started explaining who it is, so Father maybe didn't click over immediately, but the second they say Father Iago and crazy guy with this, like, kind of church ideal but turned on its head, you would kind of be like, oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, oh, yeah, Father, yeah, okay, all right. Well, yeah, I guess this makes sense. We're not talking about anything too far-fetched or anything, but so what? Do you want us to wait for you guys to get here, or should we just go in beforehand, or what now?
I think we're only 2 blocks away.
I think we're not that far apart that we should at least meet up. I am assuming that our next move here is going to... our next move is going to be investigating what's changed this year, because, like I said, this has extended beyond his MO. Right.
All right, well, we just hurry on up. Tonight does not need to end with all of us not having any fun. So, you boys, I know it's a little bit hard with, Abraham and all, and he'll kind of even whisper, even though Abraham's nowhere near and he obviously can't hear, he'll still be nice enough to be like, he takes a little bit to walk. But, you boys hurry up and we can get this all solved and all that.
We might be old, but we can still get around, young whippersnapper.
I appreciate it.
Is he making fun of Abraham? Only I can make fun of Abraham!
He's making fun of you, syphilitic click, and he'll cut off halfway through.
Before they meet, I really would like to get those drugs off that guy. Like, he shouldn't be allowed to keep passing those out.
Okay. Yeah, let's turn back to that group then. And Rebecca, so your goal for this moment is get those necklaces.
Yeah. And she will turn to Luther and Dinah. We we aren't just gonna let him keep handing those out, right? It's Datura, and my coworkers are gonna have a goddamn field day if they see the goddamn hospital filled up with a bunch of people ODing.
Co-workers?
Oh, I'm a nurse, hon.
What? Oh, a job. Dinah, I haven't met anyone with a job in quite a long time. That's just cute.
That's because you're a shiftless bum, honey. That's all right.
I know, it's quaint. Thank you.
All right. Well, oh, yes. Let's go. Ask him if we can. I don't know. Let's go. Fine. And
Let me try again.
Luther will start walking towards him.
All right. Yep.
Sir, and I'll try and get the dude's attention.
Okay. One sec. So once again, the man kind of turns on his heel, sees you, but as he'd started to notice you were with the group of Dinah and Rebecca, he seems to sigh slightly. Yes?
I know. We have just been coming up in here and just giving you a hard time, but this will be it. I promise. We need your party favors, as I believe the kids call them these days.
All right, I'm gonna try again. If you to him.
So he kind of like lifts up the armful of beads, looks at them, and then looks back at you. I'm afraid, like I said, it is one per customer, although I don't believe you necessarily got one. If you would, and he starts to pull one off of his arm.
Dinah, you said that you're making a roll.
I can try.
Well, I mean, if you fail,
let's try again. What's the DC this time?
I'll give it at 7 again, because it's like end of the scene. Hey!
There we go. Jesus Christ, Dinah. You still rolled a 1, but at least you got 2.
Only 3 tries.
Okay, so that's the third one, what makes them really want to please you.
Yes, and at 2 successes, it's only a ghoul, so that's going to be pretty much strong enough to make them pretty malleable.
Thank you, merciful God.
If you ask them to do anything a little too crazy, of course, they'll probably more resist, but simple commands are going to be kind of like, okay.
We would love it if you could just hand over the beads on your arms. That would make me very happy.
The young man starts to reach his arm out and gather them in his hand, but does pause for a second. But I'm supposed to hand these out.
I know. You know what? We'll take that up for you. All right?
He cocks his head again, looking a little confused, but he seems very drawn in by you, and with your offer, he starts to really finally pull them off of his arm. Oh, you'll make sure that these get to the people?
Absolutely. Especially after I want to have something to hand out after we go listen to Father Iago.
Oh yes, that would be perfect. They might have even run out over there. You can make sure any newcomers to the show get some.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
So he finally reaches out his, crumpled fist full of beads and hands them to Dinah.
There we go. Okay. I thank him politely, and then we go away.
Be sure to stop by and listen to his message. It's quite enlightening.
I definitely will. Thank you.
And looking a little lost for a moment, he just kind of looks around himself, but then finds his way back into the crowd.
Hey! She kind of, holds up the thing of beads, looking towards Rebecca, and then, continues going back down the street to where, I think because they were going to Because they're really close to his place, right? Where they're going to meet up with the other guys first?
You were about like 2 to 3 blocks away, which means the other group were an extra 2 blocks away. So yes, although I think they were already making their way towards you, because Bjorn does know the location of Iago's stand.
Alright. Oh, there you go.
Well, thank you.
There you go, Rebecca. You got like a 2-week supply.
So now you've got quite a supply to not pass out on the street, I assume.
Hopefully this saves a little on car accident.
Just a few.
Now, was anybody from either group gonna follow up again on meeting up, or?
I mean, we're just kind of go where we've agreed to meet up on.
Yeah, we talked to Luther and kind of just agreed to meet up somewhere. Thought we'd just cover the specifics of whatever.
Wait, are we not just meeting up in front of what's his dude's Father Iago's place?
How far away is it?
It's
From-
closer to us than to you, but like an extra 2 blocks away for you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, then we'll do that. That sounds like a great idea.
Oh, and on the way, I'm gonna say, oh shit, you never took back your Kali card.
I mean, she'll just get a voicemail later. It's fine. Iago's there. He'll fix it. I don't know.
Bjorn, were you saying the great idea was meeting up before, or just there?
Just like, outside of where Iago's place is so we can talk, then do whatever we want. Yeah,
Okay.
no, it actually makes sense to go on the way, yeah.
It is out on the street, like a small show, so it's not a place. Just clearing up. But if you guys decide, yeah, you just want to meet there, all right, then Dinah, Rebecca, and Luther, your group is a little closer, so you will arrive shortly before the others. But you know what? It's been close to an hour and a half, so let's take our one break tonight, because we're still going to end around our, kind of 1 o'clock stopping point. But we'll take a little break now, if anybody needs to run. And everybody in the chat, everybody viewing, during our little breaks, you can feel free to ask us questions about the game, about our characters, or just, say how you doing, what you up to, any thoughts about World of Darkness?
Really quick, it actually looks like we got a question come in that if you want to expand on a little bit more, that, sorry if I mispronounced this, but, Ryutin?
Yeah. Hi, Ryu. So we are playing V20 as our base, but I am using the Old City supplement, New Orleans by Night. I'm, of course, changing what I feel like and updating anything that's in the book that was more, second edition or revised edition for V20, but I'm using a lot of the canon characters, the concepts, some of the story setting, scenery, that sort of stuff. And then, of course, since I grew up with all 3 previous versions, I do house rule and mix some things in, but usually not too much that it makes it too confusing. Just occasionally I have a preference for a version of a dot in a discipline or something like that. So I'll be like, no, I want to use that version. A simple example is I like Malkavian time, but I don't make it a point system. I just work it into the story if Malkavians work with the network or not. So, yeah.
I was waiting for you two to get back so I can ask what you're drinking, but Zabani showed a milk stout? He can't hear us. Is that a milk stout, Zabani? Oatmeal stout.
Are we
Modi?
talking about what we're drinking tonight?
Yeah. What
Always.
you got?
Please.
This is gonna give away where I live, but Busky, Richmond cider. It's delicious.
And I see left hand from Cosnark. Which one?
Nice.
Oh, Wicked Juju. Yep.
Hey,
Fitting.
Fitting. Yeah.
Thematic, yeah.
I keep looking for beers that are thematic for me, and I never find them. Like,
See, this is when you should make a more stereotypical character, because like I go into a beer aisle and like half of it is theming for Bjorn. So
Make a character brewmaster and then just drink all of the beers.
but as I just got back from vacation this weekend, I have not had time to go and get appropriate beer. So
do you have beer?
no, I have cider.
Is it hard?
Yes, it's hard.
Then it's appropriate.
Victor is sub, Ryu.
Oh shit! Thanks Ryu for the sub and welcome to the channel.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just later. We also have a YouTube channel for older content if you want to check that out.
So much content. Didn't someone say that they watched like most of our old? Somebody said that they caught up on like.
Yeah,
a
they
million
were like
episodes.
they're out.
Every
Because
once in
they
a while,
watch it at
we
work.
get someone that's like, "Hey, I'm almost caught up," and I'm like, "Oh, cool, that's awesome."
Yeah, like all 146 hours of it.
That is a lot of ETM to get through.
I mean, better people than me.
I couldn't do it.
I don't. I can binge watch.
I'm
a
loving the
Netflix show,
high
but that's-
recommendations that the players are giving. Like, I couldn't
No,
do
don't
that.
fucking. I mean, watch some of it, but all of it.
No, like yeah, I'd watch live or maybe like the important episodes, but like all of it. Holy shit, that's a lot.
There's a ton.
Like I also have not watched like all of Naruto. Like my coworkers are like, "You've got to watch it." I'm like, "Look, I just don't have time for 13 seasons."
No, but
Hey,
like,
hey,
hear
at
me
least-
out. You
at
can
least-
do it
no.
because you have done it because you're in every episode.
Hey, look! At least it's not like Karis, who just started watching Critical Role, which like literally,
Matt Mercer from Critical Role.
yeah, him. No, literally, like if you were to start watching Critical Role right now and not stop until you were done, it would take over a month.
Jesus.
That's
that
a lot
is-
of time.
So much time, and I pity so much people that like try that from the beginning. It's so rough.
Nay. Like, you know, support creators and all that stuff, but just no. I try, but I don't try that hard. I'm sorry. Oh, also, I have not tried Doki Doki Literature Club, but I did watch the Game Grumps on it, or some of it. Spira was watching it in the
And
background.
you've basically tried it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, everyone's like, oh, but the secret thing, and it just seemed sort of...
The Bonnie, didn't you play?
Yes,
Yeah.
in fact, I did.
But I think because
It
I
was
wasn't
fucking
playing it, I wasn't as
Yeah,
excited
yeah.
about it.
No. It's when you're the one playing it and discovering the secrets as you play it. Like it's world changing. No.
Yeah, I figured that was the effect. It was just because I didn't play it myself.
Dog is so cute, man.
Now maybe they'll be quiet
He's
for half a
fine,
second.
dog.
They're being ornery because I came home late. And they're like, wait, but we have to have attention before you go away.
Particularly Trick, the loud one who cries for his attention. You stopped petting me.
It hurts him. It physically pains him to
It
not be
does.
pet. He's one of those dogs to where, like, not petting him is akin to abuse.
Alright, it looks like the cast is all back.
Ra.
Actually, let me have this shot and then I'll get back to it.
Also, I had Elvish's Dame's fiance, Articus, suggest me some music today. and there's some good grooves.
Artemis is the best at finding music, man, for like anything. I literally the other day was like, I need inspiration music for cranking out a Changing the Lost character. Do you got me? And he just gave me all of these exactly perfect lyrics and everything. Like, so how the hell?
I have a super quick question. Is Puck putting his wiener against the mattress?
Okay, hold on. First of all, for canine penises or sheaths, let's just start there, okay? Like, whoa!
But, like, was he pressing it against the mattress?
No, he
lays with his legs out behind him. He frog legs.
Yeah, we call it frog legging. He just puts his legs all the way back and just like. Brr.
It's army dog, like doing a low crawl.
He
Hey,
does that
but
when he
like,
gets really excited.
In answer to Nebshake's question, no, they are not fools. Critical Role is a wonderful show as far as I'm concerned.
Call it what
It's
it
just
deserves to be called.
A hell of an
Critical Role.
investment.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, everybody else in the group is just as worthy.
Absolutely. But I'd like to mention right now Matt Mercer.
Look, guys, I have to go to work tomorrow.
He also has a finished play.
You have to drink.
No, I said only on Fridays.
Yeah.
This is kind of like my Friday. So.
Okay, but this is, you can drink however much you want, but this is World of Darkness, it doesn't count.
Hey, they ran World of Darkness once.
They ran V5, that doesn't count yet, it doesn't even exist.
Alright, but
Also, it was hyper meta.
we're back.
Alright.
Saddle again.
So Rebecca, Luther, Dinah, you start heading down the street toward where you've been told Father Iago has his stand set up. Go ahead and... Actually, basically everybody. Just go ahead, give me a standard perception alertness roll. It's going to be difficulty 6, and it's pass or fail. There's no botches.
You said what kind of roll?
Perception alertness. Difficulty 6, no failing. Well, no, botching.
Sorry, perception alertness?
Yeah.
That would be 5 successes for me.
Only 2 for Luther.
All 4.
Wow, that is a whopping 1.
What was that about being able to do what Dinah couldn't?
Oh no!
Yeah, what was that?
What
Put it in his face.
No,
Put that shit in his face.
No! I said Elvish Dame, not Dinah.
What was that?
Still, questions.
I haven't failed a roll yet. Thank you very much.
6
7 successes on this dumbass roll. God damn it.
It took you 3 tries to roll to get a single success. Thank you.
Fucking damn it.
The sad thing is, it's just a pass-fail too. So like, fucking, I don't even think it matters.
But like, you really pass.
You
Pass
are,
plus.
You're the hardest passer here, for sure.
Hey, you're just gonna know everything that's going on around you. Kozark, do you only have 1 for perception alertness?
No, that's my 10 rerolled. I have 6 successes.
Oh, I didn't see
I
the
have
previous
9
one.
if you want to, like, perception shame me. Whatever.
Perception shame.
Alright, Bjorn, Rebecca, and Koznark. Now you are a little distance away from each other, but so let's actually say Rebecca, you start to notice a few more people reacting to this drug, and it seems a little, maybe not necessarily super strange, but a little off because you found the man you spoke to, heading in a different direction. But as you continue down, either these are people he reached earlier, or there are more people handing out necklaces.
Do they have the same beads?
Yes, and same symptoms. You're even going to maybe spot someone, like, sitting on the ground against a brick wall that's completely out of it, but has the very red skin and, like, seems to be, like, kind of breathing a little unevenly. Dinah, you're definitely going to notice the same thing. You might even notice one or two more people who look like they're reacting very badly to the substance. But you're going to it's starting to look like there's just one of every, like, almost 5 people seem to be reacting this way now. No, okay, not 1 out of 5. But more 1 per small pocket of people. You're seeing more of them in general. And some of them are not taking well to the drug. You're also going to hear very much down the road behind you, and it does sound like it's far away, but, with your successes, maybe your auspex went up automatically, you're just really sensitive to all of this. You're hearing not just police cars as if they're heading somewhere, like you did here with the accidents, but it sounds like police might be starting to come down this road slowly, and you hear, like, people reacting badly in the way that people at a party react when police show up. So it sounds like there's something loud, somewhat riotous happening in the background. Bjorn and Kosnark, Theo, you're gonna have pretty much the same thing that Rebecca saw. You're seeing more and more people reacting to this drug. Some of them are, like, falling against the sides of buildings and looking like they might need to go see a physician, if not get a ride to a hospital. They do not look in a good sort. And you hear a little bit of that noise in the background, like, but maybe you're not sure exactly if it's just people being a little more, like, too rowdy during Mardi Gras or not, but you hear what sounds like a police car nearby.
I'm gonna, real quick, like, as I'm noticing this, text the prince and just say, I hate to admit it, but looks like Iago's having a bit too much fun. It looks bad for us.
Okay, you don't get a text immediately, but I will make sure.
And again, for clarification, what exactly is going on at Iago's stand itself?
You don't know because you haven't seen it. You just know where it is.
Okay, so this is still a decent ways outside.
Yeah, we're still separated.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Rebecca, Dinah, and Luther are much closer, though. And, unless anyone had anything specific they were going to do.
Yeah, I'm just going to, like, touch Abraham's, like, elbow softly and then start walking much quicker towards wherever I know Iago is.
I would look at Theo and Abraham and just kind of give them a look and just kind of bolt in that direction. As naturally quick as possible.
I was going to say, yeah, Abraham would know that is I'll catch up with you when you get there.
So you guys are running towards the ruckus behind you?
Well, they are.
No, I'm going towards.
Oh yeah, we're going to
wherever Iago is.
Okay.
Or wherever I think he is, wherever his stand is.
Okay. You do know Bjorn. You do know Bjorn knows the actual, like, location. So even if you duck off ahead of him, you figure if he catches up with you, he'll be going in the right direction.
Well, that's right. Bjorn didn't actually tell me. He just told, what's his name?
You were walking as a group, so I think, like, maybe he didn't think it was necessary at the time until you started running.
I think I thought I was there when we were talking to wolf vampire crazy Malkavian dude in the woods. Anyway, it's fine. Yeah, I'll follow Bjorn. He's running too.
And you said there was a riot building behind us?
It sounds like the crowd's getting a little more loud. That was for Bjorn and Theo, though, since you only got one success.
Oh, so I don't know. Cool. Then if I didn't notice that the riot is beginning, then I'm going to continue walking with the direction that they go.
Yeah.
Because obviously they noticed something I didn't.
Rebecca, Dinah, and Luther. What? What?
I said I was going to try and stop it, but whatever.
Rebecca, Dinah, and Luther, as you get closer and closer to the area you were pointed towards by the man in the mask, even over the ruckus from the crowd and the partying and music from floats and all kinds of things, you start to hear what sounds like a very passionate kind of sermon, at least a rant, or, someone going at length about some fanciful kind of topic. As you push through the crowds, at the very end of an alleyway, you'll see a large stage set up. Well, at least one that's fit enough for the side of a walkway alleyway that could easily fit a few people on it. The stage is lifted up by a couple feet, painted black wood. The backdrop is painted to look like a forest at night. And for everybody else, you'll see this too. So rather than me re-explain, this is what you'll eventually see. But the forest is far from whimsical. The trees and the grass look almost rotten. And the stage itself actually has several wooden poles draped with barbed wire. Young men and women, about 2 to 3 each, are dressed in disheveled remnants of fine clothing, seemingly from various periods in time. They dance languishly around the poles, a couple of them with serpents draped over their shoulders. The man you can make out to be Father Iago, if you don't remember exactly what he looks like before or haven't seen him at Mardi Gras before, is actually quite stunningly handsome. And I have a picture. So the man does, to your eyes at least, look a little deranged, but as I said, he is still quite stunningly handsome. He's slim, kind of chiseled, sharp features in his face, very freshly shaven, like razor clean skin, with his hair slicked back. He stands with a large albino boa draped over his shoulders and is otherwise dressed in black priestly robes and shouts his message, arms out and waving. The stage also contains a small table with some props, over-the-top blasphemous iconography and the like, as well as a couple lidded barrels and some crates. Yes, right. Boys?
Me first. Fuck. How much interaction with the Guru has Bjorn had in the past? And how potent can be 7 dots in perception plus awareness, or alertness, and Auspex smell? Basically, would he know certain lupine habits, such as not wearing deodorant, having a different diet, and overall different hygienic practices that a lupine would have versus a normal human? And with that level of Auspex of smell plus perception, would he be able to pick up on that in a crowd?
Calculating. I think in Bjorn's travels, he would have met a decent number of Guru, Lupin, rather, for vampire side of things. And I'd say especially in his time in America, he would have gotten to know that there are kind of different groupings, almost like there are different clans, so that there are some Lupin that'll have a much more musky, earthy, less than human smell. Certainly don't, bathe with body wash and don't use deodorant kind of thing. Whereas others do come across much more indiscernible from an average human if you're not seeing their aura for sure. Because of course you would have by this point known the brightness of their auras. If you don't see that, you know
I only have
some
one dot in aspects, so I can't get to auras.
Okay. Then yeah, you would just happen to know that some can walk among humans a lot more inconspicuously than others. So for sure, with Auspec's higher senses and what you've learned of Lupin before, you can probably spot an obvious one, but you would be aware you might not catch everyone every single time.
All right. Just stating it that I do have a heightened sense of smell up at the moment, and I'm keeping half an eye out for any lupine because I knew that Travers asked specifically about the going-ons of Mr. Iago this year, which now that we're getting involved with Mr. Iago, he just wants to make sure that there isn't a lupine lurking in the corner or something, that this doesn't get anything crazier. So he has half an eye out looking for specifically lupine being involved with anything to do with the situation.
Absolutely. Now, Theo, you had a question?
Do I recall Iago being this obsessed with snakes?
No, in fact, the thing is that Iago has some themes that follow his general messages and sermons, what you might call them, even every year. But it's not this scene is a little different, and they're kind of different every year, but so the major theme that is always there is a kind of blasphemous one that is very anti-Christian, anti-even order. But he uses different metaphors and symbology and concepts kind of every year. If you now, it's Rebecca, Dinah, and Luther who show up first. So I have a roll I'd like you to make when you show up, if kind of along this line. But we need to wait a minute till you actually show up.
Okay, I'm running now with Bjorn, so.
I know, you'll be there in a second. I just need Rebecca, Dinah, and Luther to let me know if they have any immediate reaction or thoughts. Or anything they want to do.
I don't know if I don't think so. I think it'd be pretty, I don't know, does this seem something out of the normal of him? You said that he just has different themes every year, correct?
It's always a kind of debauched anti-Christian style rodeo. Yeah, so it seems in line with what you've seen or heard of Iago before, but different. So, like a traveling troupe will change up their show.
No, he probably wouldn't find this any, he wouldn't find any suspicion in this, I guess.
Rebecca would have checked him out, but he is draped in an albino snake, and she does not like snakes. So she is trying not to visibly cringe.
And just let me know when I finally manage to hobble over there.
How much older is Iago than me?
I don't know that you'd know that. Because a lot of kindred, especially elders, don't really share that exact information. They might make a hint at it to be intimidating, but otherwise don't go this many centuries.
Has Iago been a fixture in New Orleans as long as I have? Before New Orleans was a city.
Let me check something real quick.
And have I ever heard tell of his territory or heard or...
Alright, I will say that, as far back as you've been in New Orleans, which was pretty much since it was round about when it was founded, no, he came around more around the time that Mardi Gras began to be an annual celebration, and at least one big enough to gather a crowd. But you would know that he traveled before that, and this whole spreading a message thing wasn't new. And even in America, people recognize him doing this in other places. But you wouldn't know much further back than that.
And no one would be able to dig up historical reference to a blasphemous priest showing up in random places and preaching the devil's gospel.
Would you have cared before?
I'm Varys. I tend to read up on anyone I possibly can with all possible resources. Well, anyone who's a fixture in the city. I would have had my
But
allies.
like Iago isn't a fixture though. Like
he's every single Mardi Gras. He's not a permanent resident, but he's a fixture. He shows up every Mardi Gras doing crazy shit.
No, for sure. In that case, and I am not even trying to not give you as much. I'm using the canon history of this character. I will say that he was originally from Europe. He came to America probably maybe mid 1600s, but his past before that, even in Europe, is pretty foggy. You've heard some rumors about him actually having been a priest and probably a high-ranking status, possibly working with, a family. You know how that was, they had, their own kind of consort in the church. But beyond that, it starts to really trail off.
That's fine. I meant more in his modern incarnation of blasphemous priest man.
Yeah, no, kinda just crazy preacher traveling the states with his own agenda.
Yeah.
Alright, so Rebecca, Diana, Luther, you see this stage. I will continue explaining a bit about what's going on, but I'll say Theo and Bjorn, since they were actually running and it was only a couple blocks, they make it just to your side as you move forward a little bit more to get a better look at it. And 1 second. So as the 5 of you approach, Abraham, maybe at this point, block and a half away, trying to hobble his way as quickly as he can. You all see this scene that I described, but now you get a little closer, a little further away from the direct music that's being pumped out of, some of the floats going by and people dancing and yelling and screaming and singing along to the music. You begin to hear Iago's message. He speaks at length about rot, both mentally, physically, even spiritually, and the need to distance the self from the mind and seek a new perspective. A monotheistic God, he says, never changing, will stagnate to putrescence. Instead, seek the multitudinous truth, seek the spirit, seek the pagan gods. Seek whatever frees you. He then begins speaking in a mix of what I think most of you will recognize as Haitian Creole, with also a mix of some Central and West African words and phrases, some even in old proverbs, while raising the snake above his head.
So on Theo's return, Rebecca will hug him in greeting, and she will listen to this goddamn thing, but when he starts raising that snake, she's maybe not going to pay as much attention to him as... yeah.
You don't really need a long answer to this, but how similar is this to Iago's other sermons? Does this seem in the same vein, or does this seem to be something new that he's spitting on?
Yeah, I know I would probably swing by every year just to poke in and see what he's doing. I probably don't listen to the whole thing, but Bjorn's probably been with me before as well. We probably all hung out and checked out the scenery.
Also, I'd probably start taking out my phone and recording, and I'd send it off to the prince when we're done.
For sure. Anybody at the scene, and Abraham, you can make the roll too when you finally show up, but you can make an intelligence, and I will allow either academics or occult, whichever one you have a preference in. If you don't have either, it'll just be difficulty 7.
Sorry.
That'll be
it's
3.
difficulty 7 for everyone? Is that what you're saying?
No, just if you don't have academics or occult.
But if you do...
Then just 6.
3
What's
successes.
the roll?
Intelligence plus either academics or occult.
But no,
36 hope? 37?
What? What?
You rolled a 37. Goddamn that hope.
Right?
I got 3 successes.
I got 4.
5.
4.
I'm not rolling. Theo doesn't know shit about religion.
How about Dinah?
Theo knows about voodoo medicine.
I'm
and
trying to
that's
debate whether to roll or not.
What's the worst that can happen? A triple
Yes.
botch on knowledge?
Bjorn,
it was
were you
just
gonna
a
roll?
cult, right? Yeah, like into cult, right?
She just becomes super racist without realizing it.
Intelligence with academics or occult, whichever one you have more in. I'm good with either.
I don't have any academics. I never went to school. So, but I have 3 cults, so.
Bjorn, did you roll?
3 successes.
Okay.
Well, 2.
Then, like, maybe a second later, he'll text again, please see if you can stem this if you're nearby.
To me or to...
To you. That's, you got a second text from, like an afterthought. He went, oh, wait, you know what's going on. See if you can do anything. Slightly out of character. He was further away, so he's, like, trying to check in with what the hell's going on with the police at this moment. Alright, so actually, you all got pretty much good enough success to notice on the stage, the way the design of the forest is, the snakes, this talk about leaving monotheism behind, and some of the other iconography you can see on the stage paints a very, very anti-Genesis level of a blasphemous message. You know, you start to think about the old Garden of Eden story, the snake giving knowledge and all that sort of nonsense, which I'll say still falls in line with Iago's MO. He's always been very anti-church, blasphemy, and using stuff from the Bible, turning it on its head and everything like that. Although, previously, he hasn't usually gone for as strong of an iconography feel. He usually mixes in things that are a bit more modern, maybe things that are a little more gruesome and eye-catching. This has a more theatrical feel to it, something that is like a church's play turned on its head. And as you stand and listen to some of this sermon go on, Rebecca takes a second to say hi to her old Uncle Theo. You'll even hear maybe like the clink of Abraham's cane just a couple yards away. Abraham, at this point, you can at least hear most of the shouted sermon and see the basic visuals of the barbed wire covered poles and Iago dancing around the stage with a few other, looks like probably humans, a bunch of snakes wrapped around them, and some props and cargo on the stage.
Yeah, I'm gonna do like the one arm around Rebecca, sorry, and sort of like the side hug as she hugs me, and then I'm just gonna like, you'll see me slowly, actually for once, look not amused, like just frustrated, like, oh.
What's the matter?
I'm gonna go try to deal with this, but reasoning with him is probably gonna be harder than reasoning with me when I'm drunk and on acid. So
we should
Tuesday.
all get drunk and take acid and then try reasoning with him?
No, because then you're only 50%. Never mind. I have to go. And I'll
Are you sure you don't need help? Sorry, that she'll call it as you start to leave.
Yeah. Just stay. Don't get near him. I'll take like a few steps closer. See if maybe does he notice me, like stepping out of the crowd towards the stage.
You're still in mask though, ain't you?
His mask always looks like him. It's always the same mask, and it always looks exactly like him, but not dead.
Okay.
He might not notice me as me. Like, he might not notice Theo, but I mean like a person stepping out of the crowd up to his altar podium stage.
No, Iago seems fully in the throes of his passionate message. He doesn't seem to really look at the crowd directly, but kind of across it.
Okay. That's what I was wondering. I was wondering if he was actually like paying any sort of real attention.
And
this
the crowd
point-
is reacting how?
There's a lot of onlookers, gawkers, essentially. There's some people that are kind of into it, in a little bit of that kind of morbid, this is something a lot more different than the more drunk, high-spirited Mardi Gras. Just some of the, like, wow, this is crazy, I can't wait to tell people what I saw when I came down to New Orleans.
Yeah.
And there's even one or two people who have that distant look in their eye that you've seen through, or among some of the people tonight. As he raises the snake, though, and holds it above his head and continues his long rant, the couple guys and gals on the stage that also had snakes wrapped around their shoulders start to place the snakes on different, posts or areas that they can leave them on the stage, and head toward where some of those barrels and crates are on the stage. The two men pick up these large, like the rounded kind of barrels that don't look like they have tops on them. Yes, Abraham?
So I don't like where this is going. Do I think that my voice, like, have I gotten to the crowd yet?
You're like maybe just a few paces away from the rest of the group, and they're only a couple yards from the stage, I think.
All right, then I'm gonna see if I can't stop this. I'm going to yell out from the crowd, and this is also another thing. It's more difficult, but I'm gonna try and mesmerize him as well.
Okay. Before you do that, real quick though,
right.
I'm not stopping you from following me through with that. Bjorn, go ahead and roll me perception awareness at 5.
Alrighty.
Roll them 10s, boy.
3 successes.
All right. As you've been waiting, watching, looking, smelling, something starts to crawl along the hairs on your arms, and you do feel like down the alley you might have a smell something you kind of recognize as potentially Lupin. And if you look down that way, you're gonna see two figures wearing hoodies with the hoods up, standing stock still.
Do I feel like they've been there for a minute listening and watching?
Yeah, you didn't see them, you didn't like notice them pass through the crowd. It was like you were trying to radar through the area and finally like picked up on their direction. So it looks like they've probably been there a little while.
I'm going to try to, while this is all going on, and try to kind of blend into the crowd and move my way towards them, trying to physically be in between the stage and them.
Okay.
Are you going to warn anyone about their presence before you leave?
Am I within...
You're with the whole group. Abraham is just only like a couple feet behind you now.
Just very quickly, potential lupine, and start moving in a direction. Potential lupine, not a... Don't worry yet. And moving to intercept in between them.
As you start to walk towards them, I'm just going to like real quick, I'm just going to say like, confirm and tell the prince. This is going to be a bloodbath.
Hopefully not. And...
Please, hopefully not.
Hopefully not, as he starts walking away, pulling out his phone and texting the prince. Lupine are now involved with Iago.
In comparison, I'd say even with the slight pause that Theo had, you get maybe a few seconds later... K, just a capital K. Which, you know the prince to be a little bit more of an eloquent venture, so that means he is probably running somewhere.
That's all I needed. But yeah, physically putting myself between the stage and the lupine, trying to get as close as possible without being super obvious I'm watching them.
Mm-hmm.
I will lean over to, I guess, Rebecca, Luther, and Dinah. And probably, well, Abraham's still a bit behind us, right?
And I also like have my hands on my mouth. I'm about to start shouting.
To start yelling. But as all of these things are like kind of unfolding here, I will to Dinah, Luther, and Becca. This might go really bad. Find a safe spot. Or get ready to kill several people at once.
What's going on?
Riots, religious blood feud. He's probably drugged someone, and I don't know if those barrels are gonna blow up. Get down. And that's probably about when you start yelling anyway.
And actually perfect timing, because I was about to say, despite anyone's previous rules, you all now are starting to hear the crowd from a block or two behind starting to sound less like drunken people having a good time and more like people kind of yelling like, what's going on? And you're gonna hear even like police over megaphones like telling people to just shouting some different like commands and like move out of the way, and even like a low police siren following very slowly down the street. Now, I think it was Abraham, you had something you wanted to mesmerize?
Yes. So as they start walking towards these barrels and boxes, I want to try and mesmerize Father Iago at an increased difficulty because he doesn't have line of sight to me. But I want to, and this, what I end up saying is, kind of like stand behind someone.
Hold on a second.
All right. Cool. Cool.
Okay. I didn't even write this, but I am certainly going to need a roll at 10.
His willpower's 10, rough.
No, it's 9, but you don't have eye contact.
Yeah, which is a +1. Well, it's a +2 -1, which ends
Can't
up
go
being...
over 10 anyway,
Yeah.
so.
And that is... That is manipulation leadership, right?
Yes.
I also, because this is important, want to spend a willpower on this roll.
Okay.
Woo! Hey, good thing I spent a willpower.
I mean, it was just a fail, but
The words that come out of my mouth are, "Hey, shut up and call off your goons. Nobody cares."
at that point, the two men who had picked up the barrels dump them out dramatically, and a wave of rotten apples and worms go cascading across the stage and pouring onto the street, making all of the onlookers, no matter how much they were enjoying the morbid show for the moment, kind of scream and jump back. A couple of the drunken guys laugh at the girls who jump back the furthest, but most people move back. What's up, Bjorn?
Was anyone else expecting fucking buckets full of snakes?
Yeah, no.
100%.
Yep.
Now Theo's just in his comfort zone. He's like, oh, rotten food and worms. Oh, this is fine.
No, slightly
It's
just
a
like,
real Lundy
oh,
Gras.
it's just rotten food.
Yeah, he's like, oh, this is...
I'm sorry, please continue.
As this happens, after the fail of yelling back there, I'm just gonna yell, Iago, you fool! The fuck are you doing?
Iago was just getting louder and louder with his rant. It is even actually pushing kind of human boundaries. Somehow just echoing a little bit around all of you. And he continues preaching this word of how the world...
I would like to try my hand at this rolling business.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, before
Hi,
he even
mage.
gets more words out.
Okay, so real quick, right before Rebecca goes, I'm gonna say to Bjorn, the Lupin, or at least suspected Lupin, they don't make a major move, but they make that sudden foot forward, thinking like they might need to do something, but they pause when they see it's just apples and worms.
So the whole, like, they were ready for something and take that step, and it's just like, oh, it's just apples. Like the rest of us.
When it comes to really any World of Darkness splat, it's never just anything.
I was gonna say, but also you can see you see then like their shoulders go like, are you kidding me? Like just their body language just. Ugh.
So, this is gonna be vulgar as shit.
That is a great way to preface anything as a mage.
Honestly,
It's really,
Really?
like it's really not that bad. Like she's not
Hold
gonna
on.
fart out rainbows, but
Hold on, to be fair, everyone here is fucked beyond recognition on drugs.
like this is like
Okay, but
she's
like
going to
you can
yell
still
for
be
him
vulgar
to
without.
stop.
Please cast magic missile.
no. So she's going to yell at him to stop. And
Also,
she's going to
what I
put
was-
magical weight behind it, which, like,
Also-
it is vulgar with witnesses, so that starts at a DC of 5 plus main 3, so the difficulty's 8.
But like to be fair, this is going to be vulgar as shit is a good way to preface really anything, regardless of if it involves mage.
That's super fair.
I'm pretty sure you could say I'm inviting Theo over. This is going to be
Yeah,
vulgar.
this is gonna be vulgar as shit.
I apologize, Madam Queen.
The words that start every good party ever.
And I will also be throwing a willpower into this, because this is very important.
Like, this is the orgy pit. This is gonna be vulgar as shit.
Alright, to time this out correctly, Iago, as he was getting louder and, as I said, almost beyond human capability,
I'm diving for it.
tiny touch a little beyond human capabilities with vocal cords alone, just finally shouts, "Now see with eyes unclouded," and now you can go.
He's
Say
going
no.
to yell, "Stop talking!"
Yeah, and I'm diving towards his ankles.
And I'm gonna roll.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet Mary, Mother of Jesus, thank you this blessed day for all of your wonderful...
So very worried when you said, "Oh, sweet Mary, Mother of Jesus," because I didn't have Roll20 up, and I was scared.
Oh my god, I'm so happy right now.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So
I
that's a number
do
of
need to
successes.
clarify, this is directed, not like an area effect.
No, this is directed at him.
Okay. Alright, so as he seemed to, like, maybe go to shout something else, it seems to catch in his throat, and he actually is shocked by it, and draws back. The snake he was holding, he kind of almost drops, just barely catches it on his shoulders, and continues to look very confused on what's kind of taking over him. But at the same time, the two women that were grabbing these small crates from a nearby table begin tossing giant armfuls of the red and white beads with the pendants into the crowd.
So, can we just, like, break this down combat style? Because I'm attacking. I'm flat out fucking attacking him during this. When I said dove for his ankles, I meant, like, I am trying to hurt him physically now.
Because of Rebecca's effect, you don't even need to do initiation. He's kind of frozen, if by nothing else, kind of confusion and disorientation by what's stopping him.
I was saying, like, I'm trying to do this before she even started talking. The second he didn't respond to me, I'm diving towards him.
It's still a taller stage, and he was in the middle of it. Like, she would have been able to yell "stop" while you were heading that way.
I know. Well, yeah, I know. But yeah. I'm saying, like, don't let him do too much unless he's speaking that quickly or moving that quickly.
Sure, no, that he only got to yell his message. It was his...
So, but
gals.
they've got the crates, opened them, and are throwing already before I can even get up on the stage? Are they moving very fast, or am I moving very slow?
They were already doing that when Rebecca decided she wanted to stop him.
Oh, there's 4 people. 2 for the barrels, 2 for the... Okay, got it.
2 guys,
Sorry.
2 girls.
I was confused. I thought it was the 2 guys already done... Okay, anyway, yeah, sure. I just want to touch his feet.
Sure.
Another fetish I didn't know I had, but VTM is bringing out.
Get your
Furries,
Tarantino on, bro.
Alright. So, yeah, the guys did the barrel thing while the girls were grabbing the crates. That happened to the crowd. They all moved back in disgust. Most of them did, anyway. Then the girls start throwing the beads. And, of course, people are a little grossed out by what just happened with the apples and the worms, but they also... It's still Mardi Gras. They're drunk. This is, like, a crazy scene that, like, they can't walk away from this. This is a story of their life. And they start catching the beads and grabbing them and putting them around their necks.
Just let me know what I need to roll to touch his feet.
Let me check.
I also want to do more time-sensitive stuff.
Touch.
It's Dex plus Tarantino.
It'll basically be Dex and Athletics just to jump up there and aim at his legs. He's not moving, but there's still a crowd and it's a tall stage, so we're just gonna go with 6.
Alright, and also while he's rolling that, I also want to do more things that are time-sensitive and quickly reacting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's going to be terribly effective because I'm not built for this, but I would like to try and awe as many people in the crowd as I can.
Wald.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the same thing.
Hey!
yeah, presence
The
5,
three of you
fucking
nothing to
pick
see
up the
here.
damn beads.
3 successes for diving at him.
All right.
So before you do something, Dinah, you were just standing next to me and we were just watching this whole thing go down?
Yeah, kind of like, what do I intervene?
Yeah, while they're doing all this, Luther would just turn to you and be like, What are they all doing?
I have no clue, but I'm gonna get people away from them. Hold on. Or try to. Okay, so
And just so you know,
just at some point.
Elvish,
You guys can chat. She's looking up rules.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
no, it's fine.
Elvish, because you're doing the same thing as I am. It's charisma performance versus 7.
Performance versus 7 for 5th level presence.
Oh, 5th level presence. Oh, I said I was awing.
Crowd. Awe is different than majesty.
Yeah, okay, no. I said I was gonna awe. Because I have 1 dot in presence. Because presence draws lots of attention to you, and I don't like that.
Hold on, let me check my sheet. I think it's 6. Yeah, 6. No, 5.
Majesty,
5.
there is... Majesty, there is no roll.
Isn't there?
Subject courage, save difficulty equals vampire's charisma plus intimidation. Lasts for 1 scene. So you spend a willpower, and the crowd rolls charisma plus intimidation. Like, technically, every individual person in the crowd rolls charisma intimidation, but, like, I feel like Spira will figure out a way to make that not, you know...
I am literally going to try and stop all this riot shit before it starts, so... That is... And, I mean, you can veto me. Like, I understand, like, story shit. Also, apparently I can't roll for crap anyway. But, like...
But this is not you rolling. This is the crowd rolling.
True.
So maybe that's the
secret. A little bit bad.
Make other people roll.
I am going to make myself a giant center of attention in about 2 seconds. So, if
me
I could
too.
get some help, that would be great.
So considering, I'm probably about to spend my 3rd willpower of the game, I should probably pick nature and demeanor for my character.
Oh shit!
I never
No.
did that either. Yeah.
No, I'm about to spend my 3rd willpower. Haven't even picked nature and
Now I have
demeanor.
a better idea.
I will
What
say
are
it's slightly
you
my
guys
fault
doing?
that I didn't follow up with you guys and beat your butts because you didn't get it to me. But yeah, let's figure that out.
Yeah, no, I'll do, now that I've played him for a little while and kind of have a grasp around who he is, it'll be easier to pick nature and demeanor.
Yeah,
Sure.
that's basically
No.
the only reason I didn't have
And that's the reason I let you guys continue playing for a while to feel out your characters before you settled on something, because I didn't want you to pick like loner, and you're not that at all. It happens.
Yeah.
All right. But for Theo, your roll. You got the roll to actually grab his legs. You'll need to spend a willpower point and roll manipulation plus medicine against 7 in this case, which is his stamina and fortitude.
And then, while he's rolling that, I can roll awe even if it doesn't take place right off the bat. And I will
Failure.
be spinning... Nice!
Nothing happens. Although he might be pissy about it.
No. It takes 3 to actually do the withering effect, but 1 to 2 will at least give him a health damage of bashing. So he has 1 bashing health damage.
Wait, what happened? What?
Sorry, I used
You trip him?
Thanatosis 4, which is Wither. I can selectively shrink limbs, including your head. So Theo touched his legs to shrink his legs and throw him off whatever the fuck he's doing. It's not permanent for vampires, so it's whatever. But I failed. So I just did 1 bashing damage. I basically shrunk him and like he's got like really bad dry skin now.
Alright.
Okay.
And for whenever it takes effect, that would be 4 successes because I spent a willpower on awe, which I don't actually know how many people that affect.
It's a modest to decent crowd, and
Alright.
if you do it in a specific direction,
Yeah.
you'll basically get his stage. Hold on, let me double check something. I need to see what the difficulty is.
Yeah, like there's like a number.
Just 7 for an area anyway. Okay, yeah, I mean, anyone with a higher willpower gets some minor resistance, but depending on what you say to them or anything like that. But basically, a good maybe half dozen humans in front of you, plus the ghouls on the stage, and
I'm actually going for the humans.
Are you going for the humans first?
Focusing specifically on humans because this awe is not going to help. What I'm saying is not going to help in terms of the ghouls and Iago. So I'm focusing on stopping the riot, not on whatever Iago is doing.
Yeah, I'm about to do the same thing, yeah.
Okay, I believe for 4, you get at least, like, 25 people. Like, you get a modest crowd. Dinah, are you rolling the same thing?
No, I am doing Majesty, which is Presence 5. Which means I have the willpower, and the crowd rolls to resist me.
And what I say for my eyes, don't pick up the bees, they're not worth it.
In that voice,
because I speak with an accent, but, like, he's old enough that he can do other accents. It's work.
Dinah, I'm just gonna say roll at a difficulty 6, and then, like, kind of the successes you get will be how well it works for...
How many dice do I roll?
Charisma intimidation, because that's what they roll against.
Right. Majesty, okay. Oh, okay, right. So charisma. What's your charisma intimidation?
It is 7.
All right, hold on 1 second. Gonna do a little bit of fun here.
All right, so you need to roll for every person in the crowd. Let's get started.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do an average here. All right.
Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me?
Hey, at least one group botched.
Oh, come on.
And what does Majesty do?
Elvish?
Dave, what does Majesty do?
I'm honestly looking at the Wikia here. But it makes the kindred appear as a figure of, like, power and authority. Either with, like, charisma or...
Then get the people that botched to stop the people that succeeded.
Right.
Okay, alright, so out of the about, like, kind of 25 to 30 person group that, like, Abraham was also trying to awe and get the attention of, about half don't seem to respond to your Majesty. They're either still grossed out or too amused by Iago's shenanigans, or...
Oh, this affects, it says an area of effect like a small concert hall or a theater full of people. So I don't know how many people were here, but that would be like everyone. It's more than what he is affecting.
Yeah.
Alright, then at least 50. There's not everybody facing, there's people still moving away. So, like, at least a crowd of 50 that were facing, even if only mildly paying attention to what he was doing. Basically, his crowd. About half are at best mildly affected, if not at all, and then the other half are completely affected. Okay. So you've got at least 25 people to work with fully.
It's nice of you.
I was doing an average here, statistics. I took a class once.
Don't you love when college helps you be a better ST?
I actually use it in my job, which is super weird. I was like, when am I going to use this? Anyway, real quick though, back to Theo for a second. So you do grab Father Iago's legs. He was very disoriented for a moment after Rebecca's casting that caused him to immediately stop what he was doing and saying, and is looking around somewhat bewildered, not entirely sure what happened to him. Then you grab his legs, cause him some bashing damage, which he feels and recognizes, at least he does, you may not know it, but he recognizes it sort of as a supernatural and not like actually being hit with something. So he steps back, and in fact, the
I did. Can I roll? I don't know. Can I roll to hold on? I'm not letting go. Yeah, there's no stepping back. I have his legs.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're saying I can't. But
No, it's strength and brawl to like grapple or hold on to someone.
sure, yeah. I'm not letting go.
Yeah, go ahead. It's gonna be a resisted roll though, so let me check his. Alright, go ahead and roll.
Resistance, no difficulty. It's just my success versus his, right?
You go by 6, but it's whoever gets more, and if it's contested, then it's like just a struggle.
Well, I got 4.
Alright, you beat him. He starts to try and like step back, not even necessarily to get away, but like still in a kind of confused state. He tries to take a step back. But you keep a solid grip on his ankles. By the way, not that you'd be bothered, but you are amongst an entire puddle of worms and rotted apples.
Sure, some of them can live in my shoes. Whatever.
But you do see the 2 men and 2 women rushing to Iago's side to help him.
I am going to Thanatosis the fuck out of his legs again. However the turn order is working. Hopefully it's a touch thing, on touch, so hopefully I get a chance before they get here.
Right. To kind of get the scenes started again at like a beginning point so I can keep all this straight. Again, this like movement among the crowd is getting more unruly and annoyed sounding than party people, and you're hearing police get closer and closer trying to disperse people, tell them, they need to head home, kind of trying to evacuate this block or these few blocks of people. Bjorn, you are nearby these 2 hooded figures who look in a solid, immovable stance, ready to do something, but not actually moving. You can read body language decently well. You've got high enough perception. You can tell, like, they preferred to have followed this person home, maybe. They didn't want this. They're, like, just trying to decide what to do right now. Abraham and Dinah, you're working with the crowd. Luther and Rebecca. Now, Rebecca, you caused the stopping, but what are the 2 of you thinking right now, like kind of at the beginning of this next round?
How violent and hard did Theo pull that guy down?
He just grabbed his ankles because he was trying to wither his legs.
Okay, so he didn't fall or anything like that?
I'm
No.
just not letting go. Not so much pulling. My entire action was I want to hold on to him. I'm not putting any force to like pulling him off the what do you call it or anything.
Luther is soft-hearted. He hates any kind of violent anything. He is like he doesn't want to hurt anyone. He doesn't want to confront anyone. He just wanted to have fun. Just hang out.
To be fair, to your eyes, I haven't hurt him at all. I'm just touching his ankles.
He hasn't done much.
Iago just looks confused and a little bit disoriented.
Right.
He did drop his snake though, which is writhing around very unhappily because it got dropped several feet and it's a big boa.
Ew.
Oh, no.
Yeah, venom doesn't work against dead people, so I'm not worried.
No, but it's a constrictor.
If he wants to know what constricted is, fucking touch me, asshole.
But yeah, so he's kind of confused because everyone just
You're gonna hurt a poor animal that doesn't know what's going on. It's just pissed.
No, actually, I was waiting for you to say something like that, like they stabbed the snakes or something. I was like, all right, great. I get to spend all of my blood now.
No. All right, what were you saying, Luther?
I was just saying that he everyone kind of just ran off to go and just stop something, but to him he's just like, this is just Mardi Gras. Like fucking people can riot. Like it's cool.
You should start trying to gamble.
Rebecca hasn't run anywhere. Like she yelled once, but she yelled from where she was.
Oh, okay.
I'm just trying to keep. I'm not like stopping it per se. Like I'm not like ceasing everything. I'm just trying to keep it from bubbling over. Past
that's where I'm sitting too. And to be fair, Abraham hasn't run in 200 years.
Yeah, I think Bjorn and I are the only two who've actually moved from the central group.
Yeah, no.
And I haven't actually acted
Luther,
outwardly
Rebecca-
violently.
Luther, Rebecca, and I are all just kind of Dinah, Rebecca, and I are all just kind of yelling.
I only yelled one time.
So I guess I'm just chilling with Rebecca and just watching this whole shit go down. Really confused.
Yeah, she's gonna try and pull you out because she cannot affect a crowd and she does not want to be in it.
But from the outside, Theo doesn't look like he's being particularly violent at all. He just kind of held on, you know? That's it. He wasn't like pulling or fighting or anything. If that matters to anyone trying to decide whether to act or not.
Does that break mask?
Yeah, fuck.
I was gonna say in certain cases he might be able to like get away with it if it was just a quick little like touch, but Iago has
honestly waist deep in rotten apples and worms. I'm not worried about it.
Iago has very high perception.
Well, that's fine. He's gonna have very low legs in a second, so fuck him.
I'm not trying to be too mean for the sake of being mean, and I'm not. I'm just trying to be fair, but your mask breaks. He recognizes those hands as feeling not the way normal humans should have.
Sure, but it's not a masquerade break, it's just for him, right?
You're amongst this pile of gross things, and the humans are running around, if not majesty and awed, so you're okay right now, but I'm telling you, if someone looks at you directly, and Iago looking down and he sees who you are.
Yeah, no, I'm really, again, not worried.
I'm not trying to say you're fucked, I'm just telling you the realism.
Hey,
would you preface something with "I'm not trying to be mean, but it makes me sound like I need to start working on my next character"?
Because I'm always so nice. I was like, I'm not just trying to throw shit at you right now. Anyway.
But like, hey Theo, can you make kissy faces at him, please?
I'm not looking.
Oh wait, my lips are like dried.
Iago's not looking.
Just look like rubber bands.
Alright. Alright, so beginning of essentially a round, if anyone has any combat or specific things that they want to do. Theo, you sound like you want to try withering again?
Yes, ma'am.
Alright, that'll be the same roll. Manipulation and medicine against 7. You'll have to spend another willpower. He takes 1 more bashing damage.
What the fuck is the point of being an elder if I can't even roll as well as Ike? God!
At this point, you've got 4 ghouls about like a few inches away from basically trying to either pull Iago away from you or do something to you. Bjorn, Rebecca, Dinah, actually, you know what? Dinah and Luther. No, Dinah and Abraham, you're focused on the crowd. But, Luther.
And I'm trying to get them to stop. Like, not only just not riot, but, like, quell the riot as best they can without violence.
Yeah, and I want to follow up with you on that in a second, but I will say that Rebecca, Bjorn, and Luther, you see these, like, 4 barreling towards Theo holding onto Iago if you have any interest in doing something.
Like, Rebecca's main interest currently is pulling Luther and Bjorn out of... Like, I thought Bjorn was moving, but if he's not, if he's next to her, then, like, pulling them as far out of the way of this riot as humanly possible.
Bjorn moved a few feet away.
Yeah, then pulling Luther at least.
Before I respond to what exactly is going on with the 2 assumed lupine,
they're still standing in that, like, ready to go mode, but they haven't moved. They seem like hunters in the grass, knowing this isn't the right time.
So for lack of a better word, but Bjorn is then going to jump kind of into the group of people after Theo and try to drag him out of there.
Okay. Then let's say...
I mean, he's like 6'5", a very strong individual.
Not worried about that. Just trying to keep this timely. So Dinah and Abraham, you got... Between the two of you, you have this crowd mostly under your sway. I'd like just kind of a description of how you're trying to move them away, what you're telling them, that sort of thing.
Sure, yeah, no, basically... Oh, fuck it. You know what? I think I still have my goddamn trumpet.
Ooh, yeah, I mean, I don't see why you wouldn't.
Yeah, so I'm basically gonna, like, impromptu start a show that starts pulling people away from this shit. Like marching, like literally Pied Pipering.
I was just gonna say Pied Piper.
Yeah, fucking like we're gonna goddamn calm this down and conga line away from this place.
Then I start to say something.
Real quick, no, give me a sassy jazz lady, like, let's go.
Alright, ready? Alright, let's go! And then it just starts playing this, like, trumpet.
Yeah, and I start to say something to try and quell this riot, and then see what she's doing, and it's working, and I basically drop, wow, that seems great, we should all watch that.
Like, basically, they threw their beads, show's over, let's do something else now. Yeah. Let's go!
And I'm gonna try and get the few people that I have awed that she doesn't have majesty to follow her, crowd mentality. Let's do this.
And hopefully other people will join in too.
Sorry, that last bit again?
Yeah, no, hopefully other people will join in too.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and get the few people that I have that she doesn't to follow her and get that crowd mentality going.
Perfect. So, like a majority of the crowd that was in front of Iago's stage starts to be swayed by both of your kind of all majesty presence, supernatural abilities, and it looks to the outside observer like they're bored with this show that seems to be like going nowhere and falling apart, and there's an actual like trumpet player who seems charismatic, and the police are starting to round people up, so they're like, let's just enjoy, the last bit we can, and they do start following Dinah and Abraham as they start slowly kind of just marching away.
Like I start a clapping line.
Yeah.
As I play this.
I'd say even a few of the people you didn't officially catch with your supernatural rolls kind of see this, and again, they're looking at this stage that seems like there's like a fight about to break out, but not like a fun one. Like, it looks awkward. They're like, screw this, and they, have their beer in hand and start following more of the crowd. So most of the people are starting to trickle away. There's only maybe a couple more onlookers that are like, no, I want to see what happens.
Alright, cool.
If everyone starts leading, I would probably just turn towards Rebecca and be like, well, I mean, if everyone else is going, we might as well too.
You just want to leave that mess?
Yes, they are adults. They can handle it. It's almost over. We might as well have as much fun as we can.
Rebecca's gonna kind of look once more towards her Uncle Theo and see exactly how he's faring.
At that time, Theo is still, I think, flat stomach on the stage, holding on to Iago's legs. And you will see Bjorn making a move toward the stage as well. Now, Bjorn, are you trying to, just grab Theo's legs and pull him off the stage? Because that's what it sounded like, but let me know.
Wade my way through the crowd and kind of get... Theo seems very fixated on his tasks, so Bjorn will assist him while he can. Basically kind of drag them both away. Theo has a hold of Iago, so it's just like, well, fine, Iago's coming too.
Yeah, I'll roll to hold on to Iago as he pulls me away.
Okay.
Theo ain't got a problem with that.
It's not that, dude. If you're like that hard onto Iago, holding on to him, it's
Well,
not
that
going
was
to be
last
like
turn I
just
rolled
try
hold on.
pull Theo off of him. It's going to be, well, I guess this is what's going on, and grab them.
I'll just grab them both.
Yeah, no, Rebecca's gonna turn back to Luther and nod and then head into that crowd.
I just picture like 2 5-year-olds fighting
Right?
and an adult
Kind of
coming
what
up and just potato sacking both of them.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, like, Theo will probably just like, go. I'm out. I'm done. He's done fighting. I'm leaving.
Okay, I was just gonna.
Theo is Pokemon style fleeing the battle.
I was just trying to mentally do the math of 2 people who are technically being contested with a third person helping the other person, but not in the task they're doing. Like,
right? Yeah, no, I follow you.
I was like,
Yeah,
Alright.
I imagine it like that scene in The Incredibles where Mr. Incredible lifts the table where, like, Helen has her kids. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
That's exactly
realizing
what
now I've built my character horribly wrong, so I'm done with this. I am literally spending 3 blood points to turn into a dog and run away.
okay.
As long as there's not still a ton of people watching.
How many people are watching? Because I would have stayed. Now that the crowd is leaving, I will have stayed and watched this whole debacle.
I mean,
and
I'm
maybe
literally
helped if I could.
waist deep in rotting apples, so I'm kind of hidden, I would hope.
It's pretty chaotic. I'm not gonna say that nobody sees this happening, but also booze, crazy shit. This was kind of a disgusting, gross magic show. I'm gonna say, you know, I'm not gonna say that like it happens and it's gonna be on the news the next day necessarily. So
Actually, you know what?
Yeah, the way Theo normally gets away with breaking the Masquerade every day.
I would actually like to aura read. Let's see if there's anyone of note still watching this.
okay. Now, I was a lot more lax before. I believe it's actually supposed to be more directed. So what I will do...
I forget that.
So what I will do is I'll allow, like, either an extended roll to check, like, a few spots, or very high difficulty to check, like, 2 to 3 people at once.
I guess extended.
I personally think only being able to look at one person is a little meh, but I like almost like a range thing. Like, you can get a clear look at one person and maybe like 2 people sitting next to them, you can get like some minor colors. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like to be fair, I'm just looking for bright or dim or sparkling. Like,
Sure. Alright, then we'll do the normal 8, because I'm already thinking of lowering it if it's a direct attack or direct look.
yeah, I don't care about emotions. I care about seeing if like some technocracy mofo is watching this or.
Sure, yeah. I want to play Auspex a little more loose and defined at the same time, if that makes sense. So, you say you want to catch bright or pale colors. I'm okay with more of a crowd look. If you want to, like, read emotions and fully understand if they're ghoul or pale or whatever else. So, if you just want to, like, catch aura brightnesses, brightness, go ahead and just roll at 8.
That's a success.
Okay. And are you scanning the crowd that's leaving or the one that's closer to the stage?
Preferably the ones that's staying. I'm trying to see if there's anybody noteworthy still watching all this.
Okay. As you scan the few people left watching the show, the members on the stage, and the couple people that are kind of a little more down the alley, you don't see anything special in the few gawkers remaining. They look like they are just kind of like, I want to see what happens next. Obviously, the other people on the stage other than Iago have them kind of pale blotches, probably more ghouls of his. And you notice a couple people beyond Bjorn just kind of shine a little brighter than expected.
Alright. Then I will just kind of watch and see if if help is needed, I will be available, but I'm not going to do anything.
Okay. Alright, so, Theo, you're turning into a dog and running entirely away, or just enough, like, you can meet them in a second?
Probably out to the woods. I'm not comfortable having Theo out in public with one willpower.
Okay.
Theo's gone until he can get more willpower. We should really... I don't think we ever sat down and cemented the rules for regaining willpower with the new system of spending willpower.
It's your nature and demeanor, which I'm pretty lax on as long as you play things correctly, so...
But is it still only a once per session? You get it, or like every session still thing? Or is it every time you act towards those?
Do you not regain it once per day?
Not in Okay,
No.
we operate in layers of different rule sets.
Right.
No
It does
clue.
help to establish it, yeah.
Yeah, so like I have no fucking clue, but at the moment, Theo only has one willpower, and I don't want to be fucking with a snake-wielding motherfucker, because no. But however, for tonight, I don't care. I'm gone. I am literally Protean 3 for turning into a dog and running at max speed, and I have 5 stamina, so let's do it.
Okay. Then that leaves... Rebecca and Luther, you were kind of watching an interest. I believe was... Huh?
Like, in the line of people following Dinah.
Yeah,
So we're not, I don't even think we're watching. We're just dancing. We're just going down second line.
And Abraham, you were just checking the crowd for any last supernatural
Just
remnants?
Watching the crowd and just making sure that if something needs to happen, I'm available.
And Bjorn was still down the alleyway watching these two Lupin. So the two of you, as you're there and the others are moving away, you'll see Iago kind of collapse to the stage, looking a little worn and still disarmed, confused, disoriented. And the ghouls that were moving to help him after Theo had grabbed his legs just help him up. And they look like they have essentially kind of lost their own passion, and they seem to be like slowly just trying to mutter to themselves about, they suppose the night's over, the crowd's gone, they might as well, wrap things up. And you even see them look kind of a little sadly at all the beads that are just left unpicked up or unused from the ground.
At that, I'm also going to start picking up the beads that are unused on the ground.
They look at you a little confused as you do that, but they don't say anything. Bjorn, the two hooded figures you were watching, they just move and lean quietly against the brick wall of the alleyway, not leaving or doing anything specific.
With that, Bjorn will kind of just merge into the crowd, kind of keeping an eye on things, but if everyone else is bugging out and nothing's particularly going... I mean, keeping, an eye on the lupine the whole time, but other than that, trying to meld away.
Alright, who were the two different people that were talking with the prince earlier? I think it was Theo and Luther. Alright. Okay. As this starts to dissipate, again, even Dinah, Rebecca, and Luther, and Abraham, as you're moving along with this crowd of humans getting him out of the way, you're actually running into the area where the police are telling people to leave. But that works great, because the police are actually saying, no, you need to go home, there's been safety issues, and this, and that. You'll see, like, all of the streets being kind of cleared out of people. Some people are being ornery and obstinate because they're incredibly drunk, and there's also still numbers of people who don't understand what's going on being herded by police, even EMTs trying to, just get them either off the street directly, possibly even into ambulances to go and see if they need to be checked up. But the night is kind of closing up. Theo, you're in a dog form, But with Protean 4, you can keep anything small in your pockets on you, so somehow you get the feeling of a buzz on your side as you get a text. Luther, you also get a text from the prince asking how things are looking.
I mean, it's not, everyone's kind of going home, right? That's what you said.
Yeah, the night's getting kind of wrapped up. The police are taking over. Iago's crowd seem to like dissipated. Things aren't making any sense.
Then I'll just text back bananas, but fine.
You'll get like a ... and then like a we'll follow up later.
Will do.
Alright, so let's wrap the evening up. Dinah, Rebecca, Abraham, Luther, you are the Pied Piper crowd. How are you feeling? What are your thoughts about, like, it's a point you could either go home, get a drink, whatever you think.
Well, oh, go ahead.
I have a question, and I obviously don't want to extend the session or imply that would happen at all this session, but I thought earlier this evening, which was last session, Luther said that they had a meeting, him, her, and the prince to meet.
That he said that, and there is, but it was just at some time. So it
okay.
Tonight, if there was time, if
Yes.
we were hunting down
The
drug
prince-
dealers and crazy mouth.
Oh,
Because
no, in that
Luther-
case, she's gonna get high.
Because Luther said that he wanted his prize to be that Rebecca was kept safe, Luther and the prince talked about it more, and then the prince went, well, I need to know the specifics. Does she want a direct bodyguard? Does she just want, like, video security that we check regularly? How should we be helping? And Luther said, well, I don't know. How about you actually speak with her directly? And so the idea was they'll have a planning soon.
Works for me. Sounds good.
Dinah will absolutely take this crowd of people actually bar hopping, basically. like down the actual strip into the French Quarter and like actually go into places and bar hop away from wherever anyone is saying, So take them back to where stuff is happening.
And Luther's upset that we spent most of this night not partying, so he would just follow Dinah.
Yeah, Dinah's absolutely like, all right, we took care of that. Let's, I don't think anything else is happening, so let's go ahead and party.
What time is it? That being said, for entirely meta reasons, I regretfully have business deals that I need to go work with, so I'm gonna have to go and do business things.
No, exactly. And at this point, with everyone kind of going their own ways, Bjorn is going to follow the Dinah crowd, and I'm going to get it straight one of these days. And if they're going to a bar or something, he'll go ahead and join them for the rest of the few hours of the evening remaining.
All right. And then Theo running off into the woods. Do you meet back with them later, or are you off on your own?
No, he would completely disappear, but people would probably be quite used to that from him. It's not alarming at all, or even off-putting. You'd be like, oh yeah, that's Theo.
I mean, Rebecca will text Blink once if you're alive.
Yeah, which is sure, and she'll probably not hear anything back. But he's going to go run around the woods and be sure to be in the shadows, but also allow people to catch glimpses of him as they're drunkenly partying through the streets.
Oh, he's having fun being zombie dog. That's great. I love it.
Yeah,
That's
part
cute.
of his ongoing urban legend of the zombie dog.
I am bon vivant, give me willpower!
All right. So I think that will wrap up Lundi Gras, the Monday celebration before Mardi Gras / Fat Tuesday. So next week, I think we will actually finally get to Fat Tuesday. Otherwise, after that, probably skip some time. We'll see how it works out. The story is. But yeah, as usual, want to thank everybody who comes out and watches us live on Twitch. We love to see you in the chat. So fun to see you out here with us. Thank you to everybody who watches us on YouTube. Really appreciate you checking out the shows. Hope you enjoy them. And as always, all of our information for our Discord link, our Twitter, and if you're on Twitch and you want the YouTube link, it's all down below. Just check the descriptions and the page information. And yeah, so we'll be back later with more D&D NVTM. Our lovely Zabani as our DM for D&D will be out a couple weekends over the next month.
I will, without a doubt, not be here the next 2 Tuesdays or the Fridays following that. This Friday is kind of up in the air.
Yep. So what we're going to do is plan some other gaming. Probably one-shots, maybe one small campaign that might take like 2 or 3 weeks. We'll figure it out. If you join the Discord, we'll definitely have the updates there so you can check it out. But we are still planning to air games on Fridays coming up. So, yeah. Thank y'all for watching. We love you all, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.